Hello, and welcome to Let My People Eat, a podcast that provides satisfying talk about kosher nutrition. Here we clear through the clutter of nutrition speak, arm you with the clarity and confidence to eat, feel, and be your healthiest every day. I am Jill Scharfman, a board-certified holistic nutritionist living in Los Angeles.
And I'm Dr. Andrea Moskowitz, a neuroscientist and psychiatrist in Los Angeles. I use my training and experience to integrate positive lifestyle changes into my patients' lives.
Hey, Andrea.
Hey, Jill. How's it going?
It's going well. So I have a question for you. Do you take vitamins and supplements on a daily basis?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, I do.
And are you good about that?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally I get a little bit off, but usually generally pretty good.
Yeah. So I have a tough time taking vitamins. I've explored with liquids and gummies and I just don't enjoy taking the pills. So some days I'm good, some days I'm not good, but I know there are some nutrients that I need to get and I have to take.
Right.
So I'm always looking for that way to make it easier and take it. And because I know that they're important.
They are.
We need to take them. So today's guest is going to talk to us more about how supplements are part of diet in general. And when we say diet, we don't mean necessarily weight loss diet. We just mean the food that you eat. Laleh Masjedi is also known as Laleh the Health Coach. She is a wife, mother of 3 small children, and an integrative nutrition health coach. She helps families preserve their health and prevent disease using food, lifestyle factors, and proper supplementation. Laleh runs a 30-day nutrition program, group supermarket tours, group healthy cooking demonstrations, meal prep workshops, private health coaching, and more. Hey, Laleh.
Hey,
Hey,
how are
Laleh.
you? Hi, Andrea.
Good.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Welcome to Let My People Eat. So Laleh, you run these 30-day nutrition programs. So I just want to say full disclosure, I am one of the participants this month. I'm about 10 days into it, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm joining the WhatsApp group. So do you want to talk a little bit about what that program is?
Sure.
And then we can talk about how supplementation is part of it.
Sounds good. Okay, so basically, in my 3 years of practicing with clients one-on-one, I really got to know what makes people in general feel their best. And so I created this 30-day nutrition program, which is a group program where about anywhere from 30 to 50 people will be in that group for the month. And all of us will go through a journey experiencing our own individual, what I call bio-individual experiences, because although most people require the same things to be healthy, everyone also has their own specific things that they need to do for their own body. So basically what we do is we have every single person take their 5-minute questionnaire. And in this questionnaire, there are questions asking about what you eat in a week. Do you have dairy? How many servings of dairy do you have? How many servings of fruit and vegetables do you have in a day? Do you exercise? How old are you? How much do you weigh? Basically getting a broad understanding of who you are. And based on the answers, you will get packages with your name on them that will give you whatever vitamins that it is that you need to help you get to your goals in long-term health, in addition to changing what you're eating during the 30 days. So does that make sense?
That makes sense. I mean, like I said, I'm living that right now. So the first week that Laleh had us do was only eat fruits and vegetables for the first week. I know you call it a cleanse. I feel it's more of like an elimination diet.
Totally.
Yeah. Now, Andrea and I talk about this all the time, that most of what we should be eating should be coming from plants.
100%. Yeah.
And not altered, how they grow in nature, particularly. There was a Harvard School of Public Health study that came out that said a fruit and vegetable forward diet can do everything from lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease, even help some type of cancer, which is great. But the problem is that 72% of Americans do not eat fruits and vegetables every day.
Exactly.
And
Right.
nearly half of those Americans said their diets are unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a great reset for me that first week,
sure.
only eating fruits and vegetables. And it wasn't as hard as I thought.
Yeah, a lot of people get really scared. They're like, I don't know if I can eat fruits and vegetables for 1 week. And I tell them, like, that's what everybody says. Almost everybody gets scared of that. But I tell them, I always like try to ensure people like, look, if you feel like you need something else, then we can add in small amounts. The whole point is we're not trying to get rid of certain types of foods. Basically, the reason for the cleanse, as we call it a cleanse, but basically what we're doing is we're going back to the basics because, like you said, most people are so not used to eating fruits and vegetables anymore. We're used to eating processed foods, quick foods, pizza, pasta, especially since the people I work with mostly are mothers. And we're so busy. And in my community, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. So people are in a rush, and the moms are working, a lot of them. So we're in a rush. And if you talk to most moms, they're eating pasta and pizza for dinner almost every single night. So we forget about fruits and vegetables. And, you know, especially when they have picky kids, they kind of, you know, stick to the easy, simple foods too. So the whole point is by only allowing yourself to eat fruits and vegetables for 1 week, you are forced to be creative and try fruits and vegetables which you have never tried before or, you know, have forgotten about. So people really are like, wow, I love mushrooms. I didn't realize I love cauliflower. Oh, I love like dragon fruit, you know? So it really puts people back, gets people back to the basics, which is fruits and vegetables, which is what the majority of your diet should really be.
Right. So now's the interesting part. After that first week, you start to have people introduce back some of the proteins, chicken and fish and eggs.
And the way that I came up with this method in my years of practicing with people was I actually graduated from a school, integrative nutrition, where we learned about the bioindividuality, which basically means everyone really reacts differently to different foods. So after having fruits and vegetables, then we one by one add in different foods. So yes, the second week we add in proteins. Now that's meat, chicken, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, and beans. And I try to tell people, like, notice how you feel. Like, I just had a client who was like, I feel horrible after having chicken. She would have never guessed, because chicken, you know, most people think of it as like a healthy food, which it can be. But for some people, it might not be good. It causes them bloating, or makes them tired, or doesn't make them feel good, gives them stomach ache. So by introducing one by one, you really learn what makes you feel good for your own body.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
During the first week,
Yes.
backing up a little bit, do people eat some protein? Because I was just thinking, like, if somebody works out a lot or they're very active.
So because I work with moms, I kind of modified that cleanse where you can have one of the plant-based protein shakes.
Okay.
So that's a good 20 to 30 grams of protein, because I also allow them to add in a nut butter.
Okay.
And plus, you know, a lot of vegetables have protein that you don't even know about.
Right.
Most people don't know about. So I even like send them a PDF that explains, like, oh, you guys, all these, you think you're not having protein, but you actually are having like 3 grams in this vegetable and 3 grams in that vegetable. So people really are like, wow, I thought I wasn't. And people also think like they're not eating carbs. They're like, it's so hard to go a week without carbs. I'm like, babe, you're eating carbs. Fruits are carbs.
Right.
And vegetables are carbs.
And vegetables are carbs and
too.
fibers.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you really like teaching the basics, you know, to people, because we are so confused in a world that we're living where this diet and that diet and keto and paleo and like low fat diet, no fat diet, people are so confused. So really, I tried to make a program where we're going back to the basics. Like, you guys, fruits and vegetables are good for you. People will be like, I can eat watermelon. I'm like, yeah.
Yep.
I can eat strawberries. Wait, do I have to stop eating it at 2:00? I'm like, no. You know, like, we are so confused, and this program is really not there to teach weight loss. I mean, we are living in LA and most people want to lose weight, but I try to get people to stop focusing on their weight, because I think it's a very unhealthy to weigh yourself every day. I'm trying to help people have a healthier mentality about health, food, and weight. Yeah. So I think half my coaching is really telling people, like, stop weighing yourself. Do not weigh yourself. Throw your scale away.
Exactly.
Weigh yourself maximum once a week. That's what I'm doing half the time with people. Like, telling people, it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So, Andrea, to answer your question, so I would have my bowl of fruit in the morning, or I'd make a fruit-only smoothie with water, and then I would work out, and then I had my protein shake. And then I still had lunch, another snack, and dinner.
Right.
Like, it was, you know, it was still, I made sure that to have that protein right after I worked out.
I'm curious, too, does anyone ever tell you, because you work with a lot of mothers
Yes.
and stuff like that. So, they're making all these vegetables and fruits all of a sudden.
Yes.
Does that encourage their kids to start trying things more
100%.
or eating those things
I'll
more?
tell you, I get a lot of moms who contact me saying like, my daughter needs help. My 9-year-old needs help. My 5-year-old needs help. My 12-year-old needs to lose weight. Can you please work with them? And I'm like, definitely not. I am not going to work with kids. I can work with you, the mother, because you were doing the grocery shopping. And, when you are feeding your family, when you put fruits and vegetables on your table, and the kids don't have any other choice, they're going to eat it.
Right.
They might not eat it the first night or the second night, but after you see broccoli on your table 10 nights out of 30 during the month, they're going to try it and they're going to like it. So I always tell the moms, you want me to work with your kid? I can't do that, but I can work with you, and that will help not only you, it'll help your husband, and it'll also help your kids.
Right. Yeah. When my kids were really little, a friend of mine gave me the best advice. So she said, so at eye level for them in the refrigerator, have a platter of cut up
For sure.
vegetables, raw vegetables, because sometimes they don't like it cooked as much.
Yeah.
It's too strong.
Yeah.
And a thing of like cut up fruits.
Yes.
And she said, in that way, like when they're hungry, or you can just pull it out and you can put it on your counter.
You want to make eating fruits and vegetables as easy as it is to grab a cookie or a bag of chips.
Or even easy. And then actually it made it easier for me too.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
it was like,
Us too. Listen, we're living in 2020. People want to do the easiest thing possible because we're so bombarded and stressed out with our lives that we need quick solutions. And that's part of the reason I have supplementation as part of my program. What is easier than swallowing something?
Right. So let's talk about, we'll come back to the program because I obviously am only 10 days in. So we're going to talk more about that. But there are certain people who definitely can benefit from supplements. Right. Women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. Adult or children with diagnosed nutritional deficiencies, some that have, let's say they've had bariatric surgery, bypass surgery, they're not absorbing vitamins, children with restricted access to foods, or vegans and vegetarians. So there are people right away that need supplementation as a start. So let's talk a little bit about what are supplements. Okay, so they're supplements are taken by mouth, as you said. They are vitamins, minerals, herbs, botanicals, amino acids, enzymes, probiotics, and antioxidants, and they come in lots of different forms: capsules, gummies, tinctures, powders, liquids. So there's lots of different ways. Like I said, I've experimented with a lot of them to find out what the best way is to go ahead and take them. But it's also important. Some vitamins do interact with medication. Right. So you need to be careful when you're taking vitamins. If you're on medication, talk to your doctor about that. You have fat-soluble vitamins that are stored in your body. Those are like A, D, E, and K. And then water-soluble vitamins, which are not stored, like C and B. So if you take those, you're going to end up flushing those out. So lots of that's the basic idea of what supplementation is. And when they take this quiz, I'm sure they find out that they do need to take these vitamins.
For sure.
What are some indications that they need to take a vitamin?
So it's interesting. Before this 5-minute quiz was created by doctors and nutritionists, I would just ask people questions. Like, I would just ask them, like, what do you have trouble with? I'd ask them, like, how's your focus? How's your skin? Like, how's your energy? So that's how I used to go base my, my supplementation recommendations for people. But now with this quiz, this 5-minute quiz, it's made my life so much easier. And I make people take the quiz, and it will tell you, like, my supplement pack has like vitamin D3, and it says because you get less than 15 minutes of direct sunlight every day. Then it'll be like, how much dairy do you have in a day? And I'll be like, less than one serving. So they'll be like, because you have less than 1 serving of dairy a day, then you need to add your calcium. And if I said, like, I'm working on my digestive health, they'll recommend a probiotic. So really, I always say, like, there's always a natural vitamin or herb to help with whatever problem that you're having. So for me, a few years back when I was diagnosed with severe ADHD as a child, and as an adult also, after I had my 3 kids, I really experienced that, like, an inability to focus. So somebody told me, like, you should take some fish oil. and that will really help with your focus. And so I took the fish oil, and it really helped me a lot. So really, for whatever problem there is, I believe that there's always some kind of natural vitamin or herb that you can take.
Yeah, and I agree. And I often do recommend fish oil, but I do want to put in that there's a lot of kids for whom fish oil doesn't work.
Oh, for sure.
So because I don't want is like parents to keep the kid on fish oil for years, hoping it's like it's going to like kick in sometime, and then they're like failing classes.
And that's horrible.
Right, yeah.
Like this whole ADHD thing was more than just the fish oil.
Right.
It was like I had to start exercising.
Right.
I had to take a bunch of vitamins and the fish oil, and I had to change my the way I view society and how they view focus, and it was just a whole thing for the kids. I definitely don't want people to think that someone with ADHD can just take fish oil and they'll be cured. That's definitely not the case. There's more to it than that. 100%.
So I have to say the quiz was very much right on target because I do take vitamins and supplements, so I kind of know what I need and I have the background. So I have to say what the pack that it came up with, and most of the vitamins are certified kosher too, and
which is good.
They come in these little individual packets that say "Hi, Jill." So it's very easy just every day for me to take that. I'm finding it's really working. There are some signs that people may be deficient in vitamins that they don't realize. You brought up hair.
Yes.
So brittle hair, nails, the skin, hair loss is also very common.
Especially in mothers after they give birth.
Exactly. Right. So there are a bunch of supplements we can talk about that would help with that. Mouth ulcers or cracks in the corners of the mouth. Right. Canker sores, if somebody gets canker sores quite often, supplements can help with that. Bleeding gums, vitamin C is usually helpful there. I mean, we really don't have a shortage of vitamin C.
No, we don't.
But if people are not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables,
they
could be. Stubborn dandruff and scaly patches on the skin can also show vitamin deficiency, as is keratosis pilaris, which is the red or white bumps that sometimes people get on their upper arms. Restless leg syndrome. This is something my mom had, which indicates sometimes an iron deficiency. And she took iron and it helped. And I know a lot of people, if they take iron supplements, they can cause constipation, but there are good options. There's a liquid one that I like from Germany that does not cause constipation. It tastes really good. And so that's another way to get it.
And just getting back to ADHD, so there also are some studies, although usually when I prescribe this, I have the kids get some blood work and everything. So if a kid's low in iron, that can also increase their hyperactivity. Sure. It might not be the only cause, but it's definitely not helping.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
Then I'll give them an iron supplement, but I'm careful because of the constipation issue.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, which I mean, just people should know if they're taking iron, is to take it with something that's a little bit acidic or with some vitamin C.
It's so interesting that you say
that. Because it improves your absorption, so you get a lot more bang for your buck. And whatever you do, do not take it with calcium.
Right.
Because that binds it.
Yeah.
Totally. So it's so interesting because the brand that I work with the vitamins, their iron is called Iron Plus C. So they find the best combinations to make it more absorbable and work the best. Yeah.
And hopefully if you're on calcium also, they tell you do not take these two at the same time.
So yeah.
So it's again, this might be a good segue to just say it's important that you work with someone who knows what they're doing, who can make these recommendations. Also, again, I will say this, I've said this many times, buy good quality supplements.
Exactly.
Because sometimes they're for sure not doing what they promise they're going to do, and they might even do some harm.
Oh my God. Yeah. You guys don't even know how I got into the supplements.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us,
So what happened was when I had my 3 kids in 3 years, and I asked my OB, like, what prenatal should I be on? I want the best one. I don't care how much it costs. Just tell me which one to get. They're like, okay, well, I don't want to say the name because I don't want to speak bad about them, but this so-and-so brand. So I went to Whole Foods and I was like, okay, I'm going to get this brand. I even asked the person at Whole Foods, like, is this a good brand? They're like, yeah, this is the best one. I bought it. I used it throughout all 3 of my pregnancies. And about 6 months after I gave birth to my 3rd child, I saw all over the news this brand that I was taking throughout all my 3 pregnancies contained heavy metals, mercury, lead, arsenic, all this stuff. And I was like, how in the world is this possible? Like, I paid a lot of money for this stuff. I got it at Whole Foods. My OB recommended it to me, and the guy at Whole Foods recommended it to me. How is this possible? And then I found out that vitamins and supplements are not regulated by the FDA or anyone. So they can literally say whatever they want on the label and they can put whatever they want in it, and it doesn't necessarily need to be true, and it doesn't even need to be safe. So I realized that you need to get a third-party tested brand that's been around for a while, has a good track record, and is clinically proven to work.
Right. Yeah. Actually, there's a tiny bit of regulation by the FDA, but it's not regulated as a medication. Okay. It's regulated as a food additive.
Okay, there you go.
So it's a much. First of all, there's no bar at all about if it has the amount that it says it has in it, or what whatever. And that's why a lot of the supplements do not make any claims about anything, because if they did, then they'd have to be regulated like a medication, which is a whole different level.
So you talked about that in your program, a lot of people, weight loss is something they're looking for. So are there, I mean, supplements can't necessarily help with weight loss, but they can help with other things like metabolism, absorption, or metabolization of carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Or if you're taking something to help manage stress, if you're in a better mood and your stress is reduced or you're not as tired, you're probably going to be more successful in the weight loss. Are there certain supplements that are always recommended for the people who want to lose weight?
Well, everyone will go with the weight loss will come with the 30-day program and changing what you're eating. Okay. So that's that. But the supplements are really to make you have more energy, get you on a healthy track for life, because like this program is not something you do for 30 days and then stop and go back to what you were doing. This is really trying to teach you a way to live and maintain a long-term health. And you'll lose weight too. But the supplements will also, like you said, Jill, if you have more energy, you might not need to eat as much or eat late at night or, have sugary food because your energy is good. So that's basically why the supplements are, part of it, and even when people want to lose weight.
Right. Yeah. So I will say in the 10 days, I didn't weigh myself again, but the last time I did lose 2.5 pounds, which for me it's good because it's not easy for me to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing too is you as a baseline eat extremely healthfully.
Right.
So it's not like this wasn't such a large difference.
Right.
For you.
I didn't go through, I know on the chat, some people were going through detox symptoms. They had headaches, they had fatigue. I don't eat dairy, I don't eat grains, and I don't eat a lot of processed sugar. So for me, I didn't feel that, but there was still this sense of, I definitely upped my fruits and vegetables. And I did notice when I put back, because on Shabbos, you say you can have a little chicken or fish. I definitely felt when I had the chicken, my joints were a little swollen. Wow. There's something I ate today. My daughter Gabrielle pointed out my face got red.
Oh my God.
So I now have to I'm backing it up.
Yeah.
I'm going back to more of just the fruits and vegetables. And now I'm playing around to see, was it the eggs? Right. Was it the chicken? What did I eat that's causing this? So for me, I love being a guinea pig. So I love doing these experiments. And I'm so happy that I'm actually learning something about maybe foods that I thought were totally okay and safe for me, maybe causing some inflammation. Okay, so I know that some things like vitamin D, the studies have shown that people who are considered obese have lower than normal levels of serum vitamin D. So we don't really know what the role is in vitamin D, but it's good for all of us to be taking vitamin D because we're not getting enough sunshine probably, or we're wearing sunscreen. Those of us in LA are lucky. We're probably getting more than others. Magnesium is very necessary for energy production in the body. So it's a good idea to have magnesium. It controls blood glucose, blood pressure, keeps your bones strong, and keeps the nervous system functioning smoothly. And then you want to talk about your green tea.
Oh my God. My energizing tea. So, oh God. It's like, instead of having 3 coffees a day, I try to get people to decrease their coffee consumption and to give them either a green matcha tea. It's an extract, or the pomegranate one or the elderberry one. The elderberry is currently my favorite one. It's very yummy. It's light. And I just tell them put it in a cup of water and add ice and drink it. And it just gives people a healthier alternative to coffee. And it doesn't have the crash that coffee has. And it's an antioxidant. So you're You're just replacing things that might not be the healthiest with healthier options.
Yeah. And they come in these cute little packets,
Yeah.
which we all love.
Yeah, you can take them on the go. Like instead of getting a Coca-Cola from the vending machine, you can just take your water bottle and pour in your powder.
Right. The next one is calcium. You talked about that.
Yeah.
Yes, dairy foods may have calcium, but there are a lot of other foods that have larger sources of calcium: fish, broccoli, nut butters, beans, and lentils. So again, we always want to go back to that. But calcium is a very important one, just to keep your bones strong. Those who have osteoporosis in their family,
bones and teeth,
bones and teeth,
right? As is vitamin D.
As is vitamin D,
right.
Correct, and magnesium too. I mean,
right.
all of them.
It all works together.
It's so funny because I have my 3 kids, my 8-year-old, 7-year-old, and 5-year-old, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not so good at like brushing teeth, flossing, stuff like that. But all my kids in all their years one kid has only had 1 cavity, and I really know in my heart it's because they take their vitamins, because I know that it makes their teeth stronger. And I asked the dentist, I said, listen, I'm going to be honest. We don't really brush our teeth every night. We definitely don't floss. Like, what do you think it is? That's not. And he's like, oh, your kids have hard teeth. And I'm like, oh, can that be from like good vitamins? And he's like, yeah, definitely. So it's like, I feel like just by taking these vitamins, it's really actually saving me a lot of money. I don't have to pay for cavities being filled. Like, I'm serious. So things like that can really make such a difference. Not having to go through a root canal or a cavity being filled is really makes me happy.
The next one I want to talk about is zinc. So I'm trying to hit all the big ones, vitamin D, magnesium, calcium, zinc, iron. So zinc, of course, now we hear a lot about it because of COVID. It helps support our immune system. It helps with energy and wound healing. The foods that are high in zinc are oysters, which we can eat, but grass-fed beef, pumpkin seeds, spinach, tahini, sardines, brown rice. So we need to make sure we're eating that, what's the word I'm looking for? The choices, right? The range of all that. So zinc is good. Iron we spoke about. You want to speak about folate, folic acid?
Yeah. So folic acid is one of the B vitamins, and that's one that's it sometimes can be important to get a blood test for, because you can be actually taking in, and it's in a lot of like fruit, vegetables and things like that. So if you're eating a good diet, you should be getting it in. But there are people who are slow processors of natural folate, and so, or they're non-metabolizers of it, so that their serum folic acid level is actually low, even though it shouldn't be. And then that can be supplemented. You have to take a certain form of folate with it, which is methyl tetrahydrofolate. And it also, you should take it with a little bit of B12.
So, So especially with the B12, I know that I have something where I can't process the B12 that's found in food. Right. So even though I'm not a vegetarian, because vegetarians specifically have to be careful about B12, I need to take a methylated form of B12 to help my body absorb it. And the B12 is so important. All the B vitamins are so important. Right. If somebody takes them, I would also tell them don't take them at night, because B vitamins tend to up your energy supply. Right. So that you want to make sure that you take it early in the day. Yes. And a B complex is good. Right. But
and the other thing, I mean, we know this to some, people know it to some extent, because like when they're pregnant, actually prenatal vitamins have a higher level of folic acid, and then they have at least 800 micrograms in it, because that helps prevent neural tube defects, right? Yeah. But just, it should be a reminder to all of us that as we go through our life cycle, the way we absorb vitamins and supplements changes, our needs change, and that should be like reevaluated. It's like you probably shouldn't be taking the same set of vitamins like in your 50s that you were taking in your 20s.
For sure. I take a new assessment every month, so.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you need to do, of course you do, but I mean, like maybe on a yearly basis or every 2 years, whatever.
No, for sure.
And it's so interesting about the B vitamins. I learned after all the years of taking ADHD medication that those medications deplete your B vitamins. So like getting off the medications was so hard because I was so depleted of vitamins. So I didn't have any energy. And I realized that the B vitamins are the ones that give you energy in the first place. So
yeah.
And apparently a lot of medications deplete you of
metformin does.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
You have to be careful. I don't know if everybody always knows that. So yeah, that's important too. And then, again, are there any other vitamins that you think that you see, or did we cover the top ones?
I'd say right now, the very popular ones are the immune boosters, like vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D3. Yeah.
I want to throw in a plug also for probiotics.
Okay.
Yeah, probiotics for
I
sure.
think are really important for most people.
Yes.
And you can get it through certain foods like yogurt with active cultures or kombucha, or if not, a supplement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because that's really, really important.
Yeah. But again, we want to say don't rely on your
Exactly.
multivitamin. You
Yeah.
really want to get it from food first.
Right.
Exactly.
Because it's really a booster. It's not like you can eat pizza.
You can't
French
eat donuts all day
fries.
long and then take your vitamins and be like, why aren't I healthy?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's make sure always go food first. Okay, so tell me, so now I'm in the second week of the program. What happens next week?
Okay, so week 3, we add in whole grains, and this is when people get really surprised. First of all, they learn what whole grains are. Most people don't even know what whole grains are. Second of all, they realize, a lot of people, I'd say more than half the people realize that they get bloated with grains. They just feel more tired with grains. So I tell people, you shouldn't be scared of carbs. Use the whole grains if you can, and just notice how you feel with different types of grains, and people learn.
Right.
Great. Okay, so I would say I'm looking forward to, but I don't really eat grains, so I'm going to use that time to still play around and see what's working for me. Maybe I will introduce a grain and see.
You eat quinoa though.
I don't eat quinoa.
No.
I'm grain free.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of used to it now, but it's. But maybe, you know what? Maybe I will. I'll introduce it. See if anything's changed, and I can handle a little bit better. You can find Laleh at lalehthehealthcoach.com. She's also on Instagram at Laleh the Health Coach. So if you want to check out what she can do, and people don't have to be in LA if they want to talk to you, right?
No,
and
if you're in America or Canada, I can work with you in the 30-day program, and I could talk to you on the phone, help you if you just want to get on some supplements to make you feel better. Then I'm here for you.
Right. Or just, how to help your kids eat healthier.
Yes, for sure.
These are all things that Laleh can help you with. So thank you, Laleh.
Thank
so
you.
much
It was
for
so nice
coming
talking to you.
and talking to us about this. And
My pleasure.
I'm excited about this. I mean, I feel good, and I love seeing the WhatsApp groups, and everybody's posting pictures of their food and how they're feeling, and it just really gives you an insight into how hard this really is.
Yeah.
But it's very nice to have the community.
For sure. The community is a big helper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's not one of those annoying WhatsApp groups. So I want to thank our engineer, Mike Casantini at the Network Studios. And thank you, Laleh.
Thank you.
I will be in touch and let everybody know how I'm doing.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And that is it for this episode of Let My People Eat. Please visit our website at letmypeopleeat.com and leave us a comment. Get in touch at our email at podcast@letmypeopleeat.com or call us at 317-659-0004. You can also follow me on Instagram at Let My People Eat.
We are also on Facebook. Search for Let My People Eat podcast to join the discussion. You can ask questions and suggest topics you'd like us to talk about in future episodes.
If you like this show, please make sure to leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes, and tell your friends and family to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Let My People Eat is proud to be part of Jewish Coffee House, where you can find your fill of stimulating podcasts dedicated exclusively to Jewish content.
Please remember that while we are certified professionals, this is not a medical advice podcast. No content, posts, or comments should be interpreted as professional guidance. Always speak to your own doctor about making the right life changes for you.
Until next time, I am Jill Scharfman.
And I am Andrea Moskowitz.
Thanks for joining us, and go in good health.